If we are looking at the grand scheme of things for Bitcoin, you can basically see that history rhymes. It doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Bitcoin's price is exploding. Hurry, watch this video or risk missing out. Because in this video, we answer, should I wait for a pullback or should I buy Bitcoin now? In fact, how high can Bitcoin go? What is Bitcoin's next move?
We can see every time in the past we broke this resistance, we had a beautiful firework firing afterwards.
Today we're joined by Chris MMCrypto, an expert trader and crypto analyst in the space. He shows us so much in this interview.
I think this, with a high degree of certainty, we are going to keep that level. We are not going to break it.
If you want Bitcoin's price to push higher, smash the like button. This is the video that Wall Street doesn't want you to see.
The real confirmation for me personally has always been,
post this video on social media so your friends don't miss out. Everybody needs to see what we show you in this video. Like always, guys, glad you get value. Enjoy. MMCrypto. Are we in a bull market or bear market? Because I'm still trying to figure it out.
well, I think this is what we are going to talk about today. I have prepared some beautiful, mind-blowing charts. And yeah, I'm very pumped to be here. Altcoin Daily, crazy channel. Man, on your channel, it's always bull market. Amazing crowd of people, crazy views. Big pleasure and honor to be here.
Honor to have you here. Yeah, we look for things which, maybe don't necessarily translate to price on a daily basis, but we can look out to the future and see crypto is here to stay. But that's why you're on today, man, because now I want to hear about price. I want to hear what's happening next with Bitcoin, what you're doing with your trades. Let's jump in.
Exactly. And I think both is very important. I love how you're covering the news. You're covering the big picture. People who are subscribed to your channel, they know about every single topic, at least a little bit. And of course, in my opinion, it's very important to also look a little bit at the price technicals, on-chain metrics, to understand a little bit where we are, how a market works, how economics work. And I think that's what we are going to do. Let me just quickly jump into the charts and share the screen. Bang. And I want to start for today a little bit, really take it very easy, keep it as easy as possible on the monthly chart. I will break it down. I want to talk about the trades I'm having open. I'm showing them on a daily basis on my YouTube channel. People call me crazy for it. I opened it at 17,500. Of course, I have a little bit less people calling me crazy now that Bitcoin is finally breaking higher. But yeah, I want to put reason behind why I'm in the trades, why I have millions of dollars in these trades, and why I'm keeping them open. What makes me so bullish on Bitcoin right now? That's what I want to talk about. So yeah, thanks for giving me the stage. Because I think that's a pretty important thing. I realized that throughout the whole last bull market here, we had so many people on the sidelines, and it really hurts me to see people standing on the sidelines. We have like very respectable people like this Capo guy on Twitter, and it's just sad to see. I don't want to see that again. So let's talk about that. If we are looking at the grand scheme of things for Bitcoin, you can basically see that history rhymes. It doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So every single time Bitcoin tops out here at this curved resistance line, right? And we are bottoming out somewhere around this curved support line. That is the monthly chart. Every candlestick represents 1 month. So top and bottom cleared out now. We also see every single bear market is characterized by these downward sloping trend lines, holding the Bitcoin price down. And also we see every single time we are seeing a break of this downward sloping trend lines. And this goes back all the way 13 years. Every time we are seeing a break, maybe not the same day, but within a week, 2 weeks, we are seeing a big break towards the upside. This is the monthly candles, right?
What I'm looking at right now is the downtrend of the bear market being broken.
Right here, it was broken at basically, if you really want to do it as early as possible, it was basically broken here at like 17,500 where I entered the trade. But it really, really broke. And there you have a very good point. The real confirmation for me personally has always been 32,000. I was waiting for this candle here to break. And if I'm zooming in a little bit, this is the most important level to break here. This horizontal resistance. And in trading, we all know very strong support becomes very strong resistance. If I were to go to the weekly candles now down, and I zoom out a little bit. I'm not so used to use the computer. I'm making all my videos on the phone, but I think I'm gonna figure it out here. Here you can see we got throughout 1.5 years multiple touches of the support. And one of the basic rules in trading is very strong support becomes new resistance. So once we broke the support, it became very strong resistance. And I said we are going to break it. I don't know when we are going to break it. How can I know, right? I can't look into the future. I know that we will, but I said it's very likely that we are going to hover around this area for quite some time, as it was very strong resistance support before, very strong resistance now. Even more important, the fact that we actually broke it right now. And we can see every time in the past we broke this resistance, we had a beautiful firework firing afterwards. I mean, here we had a little bit of the COVID dump actually interfering, right? But in the end of the day, that was the start of the bull market. And it gets even more clear, of course, in the previous bull markets. The moment we are breaking this strong previous support, which then becomes resistance, is the moment we are entering the parabolic bull market phase. Every single bull market, this doesn't change. And I
what you're saying is that what you're saying is happening here, that because we busted out at 32,000, like we're entering the next phase, which is looking like a little bit more bullish than the consolidation we've come from?
I think if that's the case, severely more bullish. But I can never, as a trader, you never say 100% because you never know what's happening. I just made a video. I don't know when you are going to publish it, like a few minutes ago, about the iShares ETF being removed from that list, this Bitcoin ETF, which you educated your audience on. And I did also. Now, surprisingly, it's not on that list anymore. I don't know what that means, right? Maybe that means that it's approved. Maybe it means it's not coming. Now people are speculating. You never know. Maybe there's a black swan event. The unfortunate wars escalating. These are things which are unpredictable. With all factors given as they are right now, the answer is yes. I think this should be the beginning of a parabolic bull market, a bullish October, a bullish November, more bullish than bearish. And then I think a very bullish Q1 of 2024 leading into the halving in March, April 2024. To answer your question.
Bitcoin, some people are on the sidelines waiting for the dip. Some people saying, I'm following these traders and I want to, get Bitcoin under 20K. Like some people are saying, might happen. How likely do you think a sub 20K Bitcoin how likely do you think that will ever happen again?
Sub 20K, I think, is below 10%, or below 20%, below 10%, 20%. Sub 30K is very possible. We can always get a wick down, liquidate all the long positions which are coiling up right now. Very possible. But on the grand scheme of things, on the weekly, I think we are going to remain in that uptrend, and that means higher lows, higher highs. And that was the last low on the weekly, 25,000. I think this, with a high degree of certainty, we are going to keep that level. We are not going to break it. Breaking it would break key market structure, would make us bearish on the weekly, and that is not what I'm seeing. 25 will hold.
25.
25 will hold with a very high degree of certainty. 30,000 can also hold if we are not getting any bearish news here, because this was very, very strong support. This is now, it becomes very strong support again. So this is a beautiful thing. If we are closing this weekly now on Friday, more importantly on Sunday, then I would say we can pop some alcohol-free champagne bottles already and look out for the next bull market to come. I think it's getting much more likely with every day here passing.
Do you think Bitcoin breaks 100K this cycle? Or what is your thoughts for like this next bull run?
Yeah, I think a conservative scenario would be 120 to 150,000. That's my conservative scenario. But here's one thing which I want to mention, and let me go back to the monthly. And we're not going to stay conservative forever. What people have to understand is buying Bitcoin is not just accumulating more US dollar or like increasing your portfolio worth. No, it's not that. You are escaping the traditional system. What you have to understand is every fiat currency in the history of mankind has failed. Every single one. There is not even one exception of a fiat currency which prevailed over the matter of time. Every single one of them has failed. And if anything has to be preached in just technical analysis or any kind of analysis, you have to take history as some kind of indication, especially if there is a 0% failure rate. And if every fiat currency has failed, we know that every current fiat currencies are going to fail also. It's a fiat currency. It's propped up. It's inflated. We already see that happening in third world countries, in second world countries, Argentina, and so on. We saw the great British pound tumbling, the euro tumbling. And yes, the US dollar is going to be the last man standing. But it's not going to be standing forever. All of them are falling knives. They are falling at different speeds, but eventually all of the falling knives are going to hit the ground. It's just gravity. It's like a law of nature. And if you understand that, dear viewers, that you are buying Bitcoin to escape the traditional system, that you know that this model is going to be broken at one point of time as well, because if the US dollar collapses, then there is no top for Bitcoin. As fiat knows no bottom, Bitcoin will not know any top. And that is what you have to understand, not purchasing power-wise, but price-wise. It's just going to be completely demolished, like millions of dollars, not purchasing power-wise, but the price is just gonna go ballistic. And that might be in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, who knows? But that's going to happen, and that's almost given based on history.
Based on history, I can back up your research there. The average lifespan of a government issued fiat currency is 27 years. For a world reserve currency,
27 years.
27 years for a normal one, probably like a Venezuela type one. It's 27 years. For a world reserve currency, it's 100 years, like you said. And there's really, when did America start with its world reserve status? Some people, there's different timelines, but anyways, we're approaching the end of America's 100 years. So I'm certainly a believer.
It is definitely the end. And yeah, exactly. If you start measuring from the world reserve currency status, then I think we are nearing the end in a few years. If you are measuring from 1971, when the gold standard was taken away, there would be more time. But that's I wouldn't bet on that. That's for sure. I would not bet on that if I was a smart investor. So I wanted to show you. Not this is the trades actually. If you're interested in it, make a screenshot. I don't want to waste too much time on it, but this is the trades I talked about initially. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm still bullish on Bitcoin, even though ETF happening or not happening, I don't care. That's not the reason why I opened the trade in the first place.
Well, go back for 2 seconds. You're in a $1.8 million trade, and just explain the trade.
Yeah, okay. The Bitcoin trade is the position size of 3.1 million. Sometimes I just assume that everyone knows, but I know you have many non-traders on the channel. 3.1, thank you very much for 3.1 million US dollar in position size. And it's a 9x leverage. So I have put in 3.1 million divided by 9 in my own money, and I was leveraging it 9x. So that's the position size. That is the profits. It's 50 Bitcoin profits, which is $1.7 million or something like that. And then the Ethereum trade, actually don't look at the Ethereum trade. That's a pure gamble, 49x leverage. Never do that at home. I did it for fun. I never thought it would work out. Then it worked out. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm just going to include it in my tweets. But don't do this at home for sure. But yeah, that's the two trades.
And if you were to give a trader who wants to be as successful as you, just a little piece of, best advice, what would you tell them that they can get to that $1.8 million profit trade like you are at?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important not to aim for, because it doesn't work for the majority of people, and that's not what I'm doing myself even, not to aim for making a living out of trading just by trading itself. You should have a cash flow, let it be a job. You are an entrepreneur, you are adding value to the crypto space, something like that. And then this cash flow should be, in my opinion, put into a hodling portfolio. And a part of that, if you're willing to lose, you can trade with that. And of course, learn trading. That would be maybe a more reasonable approach. And then if you are doing that, I would refrain from trading altcoins. That's very risky. I would refrain from too high leverages. And I would focus more on the longer term and doing swing trades or position trades. And I'm personally more, I like more to trade in bull markets and to be one-dimensional. So do only long trades, but only trade in the bull market. And I had 2 trades in the bear market. They got wiped out. So I definitely should stick to my strategy.
Isn't 9x a lot of leverage?
Well, for crypto people, it's not, but it is a lot of leverage. But 9x means that your liquidation price will be approximately 10% below your entry price. And I went in at 17,500 or 17,000, and that would have meant that we are breaking lower than the bear market low. So my liquidation price was below 15,500. That was for me a very nice risk return ratio. So there was some calculation behind, and I chose this leverage to put my liquidation price below the bear market low. But yes, it is in fact, if you show this to a traditional stock guy, he would say that's a high leverage for sure.
Yeah. Bring us home. I know you have a couple other on-chain metric slides. It's like you're bringing the TA, you're bringing the on-chain. It's like you're giving us a lot here.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I was holding today a speech in a Dubai conference on screen, and people laughed it. So I thought I might as well show just 2 slides, which helped me personally to predict the Bitcoin bear market bottom. And yes, I was wrong before. I want to say this openly, especially for those who followed me. I was wrong before. I got liquidated before in a trade, but that's just how it works. But in the end of the day, I was able to long the Bitcoin bottom. I was able to open these trades. And here are 2 of the indicators which helped me for that. And they are also helping for us to understand where we are in the market. So it's pretty important to look at these 2 indicators. And what I wanted for people to understand, some of you might know already what on-chain metrics are. I think it's a beautiful and revolutionary method to predict the price, because on-chain metrics is something which has never been available for human mankind. You are pulling data from the Bitcoin blockchain, and the Bitcoin blockchain can tell you, are whales buying right now? Are whales selling right now? Are people holding Bitcoin in a profit or in a loss? Are whales moving their Bitcoin? Are they depositing on an exchange? Are they withdrawing from an exchange? Is there more smart money in this space, more dumb money? This is information which was available usually to stock exchange owners. Now you can go and claim this information for free for your own purpose. I think it's a beautiful thing. It doesn't get enough attention. So I really love to talk about that here on your channel because, yeah, as I said, it's powerful, man. It's powerful. And if you're looking at this one here, it's the realized hodl ratio. It is basically showing you how many old hands or new hands are holding Bitcoin. Old hands is something which I would characterize as more of the smart money. It's people who are buying Bitcoin, holding them on their wallet address. This is what it's tracking for a year or longer. And new hands is more or less, it sounds demeaning, I don't mean it like this, but that's the term, the dump money, right? And that is people who are holding their Bitcoin for like a week or less, or like 2 weeks on their wallet, and then immediately moving it again. And you see something interesting here. The black line is the Bitcoin price, and the orange line resembles the hodl ratio. And what you can see is that coinciding with the bear market, so with the Bitcoin price going lower right here, right there, we can see that we have a maximum of old hands holding Bitcoin. You can see that here on the downside, we are in the green zone. That means we have a vast majority of old hands, of wallet addresses, which are holding Bitcoin for a year or longer. That's smart money. Money moves from weak hands to strong hands, and bull markets to bear markets, and from bear markets from strong hands to weak hands. And this is what this chart shows. It shows us also this resistance zone, which we are in right now. And this chart is like 5 days old or so. I made the presentation before, and actually we broke out of it now. So now we broke out of this resistance zone, and this chart just standalone confirms, based on history, we are exiting this, and that was your initial question, bear market or consolidation phase, and entering the bull market phase. That's the first one. That's the second and the last one. I could show you 10 more, but I know we have restricted time. It's after midnight here. Let me show you that one, but I'm going to talk about many more of them on my channel as well. Here you can see something very related to the previous chart. Bitcoin short-term holder supply, the orange line, and the long-term holder supply, the blue line with the green dots, right? And then in the background is the gray line. That's again the Bitcoin price. What we can see here is an inverse correlation. So whenever the short-term holder supply goes up. Of course, naturally, the long-term holder supply goes down. What does this tell to us? In bull markets, long-term holders are selling to short-term holders. Smart money is selling to dumb money. So let me actually take the last example here. In 2021, the beginning, you can see short-term holder supply going up, long-term holder supply going down.
This is like you know, when the market's down, when people are the most scared, that's when you're seeing the dumb money sell, and then the smart money, people don't get too worried, have a more, you know, long-term outlook. They're the ones buying.
Exactly. And that's what I want to come to right now, because this blue line just reached a new all-time high. What we can see, the long-term holders were increasing actually to an absolute all-time high. And we are not talking about absolute numbers. We are talking about percentage-wise. And that's a mind-blowing thing to see. Long-term holders are at an all-time high, showing that they are more, and it's still an uptrend, more confident than they have ever been before in history of Bitcoin. And the short-term holders are at an all-time low, which means that, and that is, of course, now it's tilting. If I would take the new chart, it's 5 days old or 7 days old. That means that the short-term holders were as scared as never before, just like 7 days ago. Just before the breakout, they had an all-time low. That it just perfectly resembles how markets work, right?
Yeah.
Smart money buying in the best time possible, dumb money selling in the worst time possible. And that is what this chart shows. And I hope this gives some kind of learning for, let me quickly go back to the face mode, for everyone watching here, because I think it's a very important learning, and we all want to count into the smart money, right? And not the dumb money. And I hope this video can help.
Thank you so much, MM. So just to kind of summarize what we learned on this video, because, you know, like we said, you know, we talk about news, we talk about more, you know, big picture, fundamental stuff. We don't talk about price that often. And you talked about on-chain stuff and price and just your thesis in general. But what I learned from this video is a lot of confirmations. Bitcoin is in that next stage of the bull market, coming out of consolidation into a more parabolic state. A very, you know, a low chance, in your opinion, Bitcoin falls below, you know, 20K again, 10-20% chance maybe. It could fall below 30K again. But more likely, in your opinion, that Bitcoin, you know, starts to break up.
Yeah, exactly what I said before. And this is, again, all factors given as they are, without factoring in any bad news coming in soon. I said before, and this I still have to be proven on that to be right, when we break 32,000 on a weekly candle, we will hit 40,000 rather sooner than later, right? So let's see how that goes, if that is going to happen. But so far, of course, it looks good. If that doesn't happen, it doesn't faze me at all, because 32,000 was the most important level to look out for.
So on a weekly candle, we're going to have to see if that plays out basically by Sunday, see how the week closes.
Yeah, that is on if you are trading, and I trade on the weekly, and if you are looking at the Bitcoin price on the weekly, that is very important to close on the weekly. But I'm confident, at least, to say that this is going to happen.
MM, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a pleasure to hang out with you in Dubai last year and Singapore more recently. I encourage anybody from our audience, follow MM on Twitter, follow him on YouTube. I love his, you know, TA videos. And MM, final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
I don't know. Keep being beautiful, keep being amazing, and let's ride this bull market together. I can't wait for higher prices, man. This has been boring AF, and I have the feeling this boring phase has finally ended.
Hell yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.